What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Or y'all beat me to the live stream. Thank you guys so much for coming in. You already know I'm your girl, Miss T with the T. Today we're going to be talking with a lady by the name of Monifa Robinson. She is an author, a life coach, and she also is a public speaker. She will be in here shortly. I did want to thank you guys so much for being on here. Let me say hi to everybody. We got Ashley Intrigued already here. We have Jed's Farm. Thank you so much for coming in. Can't stop, won't stop, but love to mow and cruise. Thank you so much for coming in. And without further ado, I would like to present to you guys this lady by the name of Monifa Robinson. Thank you so much. Hey.
Hey.
Thank you so much for agreeing to meet and talk with me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Miss T.
So, everyone, this is Monifa Robinson. Like I said, she is a life coach, a public speaker, and an author. So, if you would, could you let the people know about yourself?
Yes. Hey, everybody. So, yes, I am a life coach that uses a Christ centered approach to help women with, good morning, everybody, to help women primarily with personal, professional, and spiritual growth and development. I focus primarily on the areas of balance, clarity, and purpose. And yes, I also write and also speak. So, I'm excited to be here.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like, I am new to the life coaching, I guess, industry. What is life coaching actually consist of?
So sometimes people kind of get life coaching and therapy a little confused, although there are some, areas that intersect. Life coaching, I tell people, deals with individuals who are in the mindset to want to set goals and are ready to go for it. If you think about therapy, that's more so in the mindset of, let me think about my past issues, concerns, and really work through the emotional trauma and stress of those things.
So you work more with people who have goals and a positive mindset and then want to advance.
Yes.
And then you also put in there Christian ways.
Yes. So everybody always asks, like, why, what is this whole Christ centered Christian, life coaching? And, I tell people from personal experience, right? I've been in situations where I know what it's like, literally, to set goals and just keep running the rat race. On the treadmill, trying to make things happen, and nothing's happening, right? And okay, so here's the background. Let me give you a little background. I actually grew up in the church, right? And so, with God, Christ, being my foundation, I will say that I knew Christ, maybe not as much as I knew or well as I know him now, and hope to know him more in the future. But I will say that I knew him, but it was kind of like that distant cousin type no.
I where you're coming from.
Like you go to the family reunion, so Uncle so and so, but y'all not communicating every day during the year and all that good stuff. I'll try to keep it short. When my father passed away, like I was really, really close. I'm a daddy's girl at heart. Like you look up daddy's girl in the dictionary, you will see my picture. Okay. So I'm a daddy's girl at heart. And when he passed away, it literally shook my foundation. Now, mind you, I had already started the business within your reach at the time. But when he passed away, like it shook my foundation. My faith was, we were looking over the edge. We were looking over the edge, about to jump, right? And but fast forwarding, as I was able to kind of navigate through that grief process, things became a little bit clearer to me that, I really, really needed to connect with God to not only help me get through that, but to help me get through everything. I realized that there's certain things, like we all have to do things to kind of get to the next level, right? But I really found that after that experience, like it's really only but so far we can go on our own.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like oftentimes we get to that place and we want to kind of throw God into the mix when he really should be at the foundation of it, and then helping us to build so that we can really reach the potential that he really wants us to reach. So yeah, I have to put them in it. Now, we're not necessarily having Bible studies, but all the practical principles of the word are included, in what we do.
But that's awesome. That's awesome. You gotta put God first. So that's awesome. Um, Let me see. So I was doing my research, and um, it says that you work primarily with women.
I
Do you,
do.
do you work with men as well, or what?
I love men. I really do. But for my purposes, I work primarily with women. Now, everything that I do, like what I teach, how I help operate, can be used for men as well. But I really have a strong affinity to working with women and helping them to navigate this crazy world.
Okay. Well, there are a lot of women out here in the what I call our YouTube community,
Mhm.
where we're trying to reach goals and trying to better ourselves and things like that. So I did put your website www.withinyourreach.life.
Yes, thank you.
Also, I forgot to mention everybody for the 15, 16 people in here. If you have any type of questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. She also has a free consultation if you are interested, if you want to like explain to everybody about that.
Yeah. So, anybody that's interested in a free consultation, all you have to do is go to my website and you'll just see the button. Just click on schedule consultation and grab a spot on my calendar. That'll be a great opportunity for us to kind of know one another on a slightly, it's only, slightly deeper level. So I can kind of see what your goals are, what your motivation is, why you're interested in life coaching. And it's also good for you to see who I am, because I tell anybody, I don't care who it is, this is a two-way street. You need to interview me to make sure I'm the woman for the job, right?
Right.
Because I think it needs to be a good fit, because this is time that you're taking out of your life, not just out of your schedule, but out of your life to be better, to do better. So yeah, all you have to do is go to the website, schedule a consultation, and just we'll chat.
That's awesome. Now, with the consulting, is it just yourself, or do you have a staff? Like, are there other women?
Well, right now it's just me doing the actual consulting. I do have an assistant that helps me with administrative things on that of that sort. But in terms of the coaching, right now, you get me.
Very awesome. Very, very, very awesome. Let me see. So, with the consultations as well, if someone was to choose to consult, will they meet like twice weekly, three times weekly, or it just depends on the person's schedule?
Yeah. So, what I did was I actually developed a 3-month program, right? And because I work specifically with balance, clarity, and purpose, like those are the three main things that I really hit on when it comes to especially busy professional women. I created this 3-month program that focuses specifically on that. So anybody that actually goes through the consultation and decides they want to sign up will work with me during these 3 months. And during those 3 months, like the first month, we'll talk about balance, right? And so, hey, Deborah. And so we'll talk about balance. And so, for example, this is not a popular opinion, Miss T, but I'm going to tell you, you cannot do everything at 100% all the time. You
Mhm.
just can't do it.
I'm
So a
right.
lot of times when we talk about balance, people have in their head that they want to be able to do this, do that, do this, do that all at once and be exceptional at it. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I just have to be real, right? So we talk about what balance really means to you. And then I kind of help facilitate the thought process on my thoughts on balance. The other thing about balance, I tell people, listen, it's really about surrender. When you learn to surrender some things, you
You are
know, not just
speaking to my heart right now.
yeah, and not just spiritually, yes, but also even tangibly. You running that business, you cannot do everything on your own. You
Mm,
just can't not continue to grow to the levels that you want to grow to. Let's just put it that way.
okay. Okay.
Right. So then, so that's what we do in the first month. The second month, we talk about clarity. Right. And in this month, okay, so for all my, church goers, or, you don't even have to be a church goer. You get on YouTube and look at different sermons when the new year comes in. It's like, it's my season, right?
Right.
Okay. It's everybody's season. But the question is, which season are you in?
Mm, okay. I like
it's,
this.
it's not harvest season for everybody at the same time, right?
Mm,
So when we talk about clarity, one of the things that I do with my clients is I go through seasons. Like, we literally look at the 4 seasons of the year, and
mm,
then we compare it to your life, right? Like, what season of life are you in? And that helps us to get clarity on how we need to be thinking and the things that we need to be doing in that season.
mhm,
So, for like example, people think that just because you in the winter season of your life, everything seems dead, that nothing's happening. Oh, my life is over. Oh, the business is done. No, there is so much that can be done even in the winter season, right? And I'm not a farmer, I'm a city girl. But when I studied farmers, I mean, you'll be surprised at the things that they're doing even in the winter season to prepare for spring and
mhm.
so on and so forth. And then in the last month, the third month, we talk about purpose. And I tell people, whether you know your purpose clearly or whether you're trying to figure it out, in that month, we're not diving into that right away. We diving into your mindset. We're diving into what's going on in your heart. We're diving into all of these things so that you can position yourself to operate at max potential while you're in your purpose, right? And then if clients just continue with me, go on with me at the end of the 3 months, that's when we dive deeper in. I'm like, okay, and I'm the type of person like, look, I'm gonna hold you accountable, right? I'm gonna gently push you, beyond your comfort zone. You may not like me some days. You may be like, Monifa, I don't even want to talk to her today, but I can pay my money, so I'm gonna call her,
It
right?
feels like you're speaking directly to me, but the people are loving. They said that she is preaching, and you are definitely speaking my language. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Girl, firsthand. I tell people, it's not just like, yeah, I have the educational background, but what really brings life to it is really how I feel, like my experiences, like that just is like icing on the cake, I feel.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. So I am like one. Like I said, you are speaking to me. You are speaking to a lot. There are a lot of homesteaders and gardeners and farmers in here as well. That's a
Oh
lot.
no, I better not say too much. Like I said, I'm a city girl.
I love the fact how you said you break it into parts and seasons, and you kind of give somebody that push, because a lot of people are afraid to take that extra step. So that's why here on YouTube, I try to like, you guys can do it. I'm here for you. Kind of get just a little. You got this. You got this.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, every now and then, everybody just need, a little confidence, a little push. Like, you
Yeah,
can do this. You can do this.
yeah. And it's not easy. And I don't even want to make it seem like it was all easy for me, because it wasn't, and it isn't always easy now. Like, I remember, and true story. Oh gosh, this probably had to be about 20 years ago. Now I'm dating myself. Hopefully I don't look that old. But but I was running a business, but I wasn't running it full time at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also working part time. And at that particular time, I had written my first book. And I put on a conference, right? And one of my girlfriends at my job at the time, she, helped me with the back end, was at the conference, helping me put stuff together. And conference, I felt like it was a success. I was living in Atlanta. People paid to come see me, and they didn't know who I was. Oh, we doing big things, right? So, so after the conference was over, she literally came to me and she said, "You know what, Monifa? You're really not doing anything."
Mm.
It, yeah, that's. I was like, huh. She said, with all of the gifts and talents that you have inside of you, you're really not doing anything. So now I didn't say anything verbally to her at first because I was really trying to maintain our friendship. So I knew that if I had said something, it might not have gone over too well, right? So I let it marinate. And when it marinated over a few days, I came to the conclusion that she was right. And I remember putting a post on Facebook years ago, I'm telling you, that said, "People think you're fearless because you've done what they have yet to do.
Mm.
But only if they knew the fear you had if you were to do what you were truly called to do."
Preach it.
And when you talk about push, like that one comment that she made, she wasn't saying that what I wasn't doing wasn't positive, it wasn't good, it wasn't, beneficial. Like she wasn't saying any of that. But what she was saying is, "Monifa, you're operating inside your comfort zone."
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that. And the funny thing about it is I knew it before she said it. But you never really, sometimes you get comfortable in the applause and the accolades of people. Or sometimes you get comfortable because it's like, if I step out, like I'm scared. Like I don't know what's on the other side. Like I know how to manage working full time and running a business part time. Like I know the pros and cons, the consequences and everything that come with. But you're asking me to what? You're asking me now to incorporate some things into my business that I'm scared to incorporate, or that's going to put me in the spotlight, or that's going to cause me to have to do this, or that's going to cause me to have to change my mind. Like everybody needs a push,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if you don't have people in your corner that loves you enough to push you, I mean, they know how to do it. She did it in a nice way, even though I was like, and by the way, we are still friends today. So look, and I tell her, I'm going to tell this story till I can't tell it no more because it was so profound, for me. It really, really was. It really was. And I still think about that story when I get scared about the next level or the next step. It's like, and then also I'm up here telling my clients, you need to push past the fear, you need to operate. What do I look like not even attempting to do those things myself? So, there was a period when I was operating the business years ago where I almost kind of felt hypocritical. It's like I'm telling you to jump outside your comfort zone while I'm sitting over here sipping my tea. And so, now when I find myself doing things or operating, and once again, here's where some of the Christ-centered approach comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Christ is all about integrity. Like, now I feel like I operate in integrity because I'm not just teaching you things that sound good, that are good, but are things that I've lived through, currently live through, and constantly grow through as well. So, yeah.
Amazing. That is amazing. I love how you're speaking. I promise it's like you're speaking my language. I'm so glad we connected on LinkedIn. You're one of the few people who I talked to or interviewed or collab with outside of our YouTube community. So I kind of pushed myself out there a little bit. And like before the live stream, I was just like, oh my God, what if this happens? What if this happens? But you got to take that.
You got
I
to
mean,
take
we're going
the
to grow.
risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like,
What is it? Bigger risk, big rewards, you know?
oh. Let me see. Let me see. If you guys have any type of questions, feel free to ask. Would you like to care to talk about the books that you have? Like, how many books have you published?
Sure, sure. And they're also on my website and they can be purchased on Amazon as well. But one of my first books is Change Beyond the Pain. And I have a book and a workbook component to that. And that's actually one of the books that we use as our resource for our coaching sessions. So, but Change Beyond the Pain is a book that I wrote when my father passed away from pancreatic cancer. Like I said, I was a daddy's girl to the core. So when he passed away, I mean, I would do things like I was living in Atlanta at the time. I would do things like I didn't even want to talk to anybody, but people kept calling me to check on me. Listen, Miss T, I was doing stuff like telling people I'm going up to the mountains for the weekend. So, I don't get good reception.
Okay.
So, if you don't hear from me, don't worry. But, when Monday comes around, if you don't hear from me, that's when you worry. So, I had to set people's expectations. I'd be right in my house in Atlanta. Wouldn't be no, but it would be so peaceful because people were not calling me because they're like, oh, she don't get reception. But I just needed a break, right? But because I grew up in the church and because my faith was so important to me, when my father passed away, I was praying. I was like, Lord, don't let him die. Like, he was diagnosed with cancer on one day and he passed away less than 30 days later.
Oh, so sorry to hear that.
Yes, thank you. And so, I'm praying and I'm like, okay, God's going to, keep him alive. And then he died. I was mad at God. I was like, oh, okay, now I got some issues. I'm like, I needed a new car at the time. I'm like, Lord, you let me buy a new car. You let me do this at work. You let me do that. And you wouldn't save my father. Like, what kind of God are you? Right. But, he's patient. He's faithful. He ain't throw me to the side. But, when I came back around to my senses, I won't even say I came back around. I'll say he brought me back around. I actually wrote, I actually kind of documented in this book life lessons that I learned and continue to learn from my father's passing. So they give practical but biblically based approaches to dealing with whatever your lesson is. Like for me at that time, it was him passing. It might be a job loss for somebody else. It might be a relationship situation for somebody else. It might be a health issue for somebody else, but whatever it is, I'm all about trying to help people give practical approaches, which is where the Christian life coaching comes in. Like to me, and I love the Lord, but to me, I think it's important to be able to understand how to live this thing out. Like how do I have life while I'm on this chaotic earth? Like, what does that even mean? What does that look like? So hopefully that book helps people through that process. My other book is Eagle Vision. And Eagle Vision takes the unique characteristics of the eagle and it has the reader compare themselves personally and professionally to it. I call it the next Who Moved My Cheese. I'm just saying, that's just my terminology. But it'll take things like, for example, the eagle's vision, right? So for the eagle, For those that studied the eagle, you'll know that the eagle has a clear membrane that goes across its eyelid to remove debris and dirt, just like our eyelids do on our face.
Right.
But because that membrane is clear, they always see, right? So one of the things I talk about in Eagle Vision are distractions. When our eyelids close, even for that millisecond, we can't see, but we don't really recognize it because it's so natural. It's like second nature. But what distractions, no matter how small or large, are in your way that cause you not to be able to see, that cause blurred vision? So things of that nature. Um, I did also write another book called Matters of the Heart. It's a devotional. And what I wanted to do with that book is really kind of dive into emotions that people really don't like to talk about. So yeah, it's easy for me to say I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm upset, and I do tap into some of those emotions. But one of the things that I also do is tap into emotions like suicidal thoughts, or, somebody feeling they got a lust problem or whatever, just stuff that people hold close to their chest, that they're really maybe embarrassed. We talk about shame, all things of that nature. And so, yeah, those are the books. And like I said, they could be found on my website and also on Amazon in paperback and ebook versions. So
That is awesome. That is amazing. How you you do so much. Like I feel like you said earlier, like I'm where you were where um oh yeah, I'm doing this in the community. I feel awesome, but yet I have had somebody, not so many words as your friend, but like come and say, Miss T, you have so much more potential. So
mhm.
that's where I'm at now. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to actually go and do. Um,
Yeah, and it's when someone says that, sometimes it can be jarring. Like it can kind of take you on a mental roller coaster because you're like, well, I'm using all my talents and I'm using all my skills, but sometimes it's not always just what you're using. It may be how you're using it. It
mm,
may be how you're thinking about it. Think about the thing that you're fearful of.
mm,
Like, what makes you afraid? Like, if you do A, B, and C, or if you use your talent or your gift in a certain way, how will that how would that change things? Like, what's the fear? Like, think about your fear, and those are some ways to also go about trying to figure out the next, as I say.
awesome, awesome. Yes, because I'm just like, well, how can I? Yeah, I'm exactly in that moment right now. Welcome in, Shawnee and Determined Diva. Like I said, we are talking here with Monifa Robinson. If you guys have any kind of questions involving like life coaching or anything, feel free to ask. And also, she does have a free consultation service on her website. If you guys are interested in just a free, just to get to know a little bit more. Did you want? We got like 25, almost 30 people in here. Did you want to reiterate like what's all in the consultation service?
Yeah, yeah. So listen, if anybody goes to my website within your reach.life, you'll see a couple of buttons in different places to book a consultation or schedule a consultation. It's free. And what we'll do is spend about 30 minutes, talking about your why, your what you want to do, why you want to do it, and also, like I said, that'll be a time for you to ask me questions to make sure I'm a good fit for you. Like just because somebody says they're a coach doesn't mean they're the right coach for you. Right.
Right.
And so this will be an opportunity for us to kind of get to know each other to see if we want to progress on. And just I guess as a recap for some people who kind of just joined us, I did develop a 3-month program designed to help you with balance, clarity, and purpose. Like those are the three main issues or concerns that I deal with, right? Balance, clarity, and purpose. And when we're talking about balance, we're talking about just coming to grips with the fact that you can't do it all at one time at 100%. And I didn't say this before, Miss T, but I just thought about it. Sometimes I tell my clients and I give them this analogy, right? It's like baking a cake. Now, 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar. Sound pretty normal, right? Yeah. Mhm. So, but imagine putting 2 cups of salt, 2 cups of eggs, 2 cups of vanilla flavoring, 2 cups of cream, like 2 cups of everything.
Wow.
That's not really going to turn out too good. But 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, maybe 2 eggs, a pinch of salt, a teaspoon of flavoring, a quarter cup of cream. Girl, you got you a cake. But you didn't put the exact same amount of everything into that cake to make it delicious.
Mm-hmm.
That's balance. Understanding what needs to go where and when, and being flexible enough to be like, okay, that's not my life this season, and then we talk about clarity. And I mentioned before, we talk about seasons in our life, right? And when you understand what season you're in your life, that's an opportunity for you to then understand and strategize on what you should be doing at that point, right? Because just because it may appear to be a dead season doesn't mean that there's nothing that needs to be done, right? And so, and then we talk about purpose. So now in this 3-month program, that purpose, we're not diving right into, oh, yes, I'm gonna run off in my purpose. No, we still got some more work to do. What's your mindset like? What's your heart like? Like, what's going on the inside, so that we can position you to operate fully in your purpose and in your potential, or at least if you don't know your purpose, position you so that you can hear a little bit clearer. Sometimes we're running around so much, we're doing so much, it's like we can't really hear. Like, we want to hear from God, but it's like, God, like, you too busy. I can't get a word in edgewise. It's talking to somebody while you on your phone, texting somebody else at the same time. Now we know how that all works out.
Right.
Okay, it don't work out too well. Somebody, eventually you're gonna be like, oh girl, wait, hold on. Let me finish this text. Or the other person's gonna be like, are you listening to me? Because they can feel that there's a disconnect,
I
So yeah.
totally I promise it's like you're speaking my language. I want to welcome it also OCD Life DJ Tanya Renee. Thank you everybody for coming in. Right now, I know we talked briefly. Oh, Trish the Natural, welcome in as well. We talked briefly here and there via email, but I am like, my life is so hectic right now. Dealing with a senior, trying to get the graduation stuff going, figuring out the college, getting her moved out. I was telling you, I'm trying to get to Savannah. I love the Savannah area.
Yes.
Trying to do YouTube and
Mm-hmm.
everything else. My life is just like, but like you said, you can't contribute 100%.
Gotta prioritize. Yep.
Yeah. So you are definitely speaking my language indeed. Oh, it's Odom, welcome in, Odom. Yes, so like I said earlier, if you guys are interested, she does have a free consultation service. There's her website. She also has some books out. I think you said a total of 3 as a
Four. You got a book and a workbook for Change Beyond the Pain. You got Ego Vision, and then you got Matters of the Heart.
Amen. I love it. I love it. Let's see. We're still kind of early. I thought more people would have more questions.
I mean, what? Somebody might have a coaching question. Get your free coaching. Ask a question.
I greatly enjoy how you just distinguish like what is therapy and then life coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought they were kind of similar, but now I see the difference.
Yeah. And my background, and I didn't say this earlier, but my background is in clinical social work. So I have done therapy. I still have a few therapy clients.
Hmm.
Um so I've done the therapy piece as well as the coaching piece, so understanding how to integrate the mindset work, the heart work, and things of that nature without getting too deep. If you ever get to a point where, in the sessions where it's like, okay, maybe a therapist is needed, then I definitely can offer some recommendations depending on the state that you're in. And that's the other thing. My clients are everywhere. So all the work that I do is virtual unless I'm out somewhere speaking at an event. But my clients are everywhere. I have clients in Colorado, I have a client in New Hampshire. I mean, Texas, like, they're in different places. So don't let distance separate you from me. All you got to do is click on the link and grab a spot on my calendar.
That's awesome. So, okay, we do have a question in here. Thank you, Tristan Natural. I want to ask, so by you being available to everyone virtually, do you have like a 24-hour schedule? Like some people are available during the night or
You do not want to talk to me when it's 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time, okay?
okay.
um, but I do try to be flexible. Which means that if I have somebody on the West Coast, there are times where I might be on the East Coast at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern,
Okay. So it's not like a 9 to 5 per se.
No, oh, no, 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 no. I mean, I've seen clients, I'm an early bird too. So, I mean, I've seen clients as early as 6 o'clock in the morning, Eastern or what have you. So it just kind of varies.
Okay. And Tristan Natural said, "What are the common challenges people ask uh, coaching services for?" I guess.
Oh, okay. Oh gosh, some people are looking for coaching services for prioritizing their lives. Like they feel like their lives are disorganized and they need help prioritizing. Which is where the balance, and some people need strategy to help them with their businesses. Some people, and this is for any type of coach. Some people, there are different types of coaches, which is why it's important for you to kind of have an idea, even if you don't have it completely figured out. It's important for you to have an idea of what you're looking for, or at least be able to describe your problem. Like if you don't know what you're looking for, but you're like, this is my issue, then the coach should be able to tell you whether or not they're a good fit and how they work with people. So for example, if somebody comes to me and is like, I need help taking my retail business from where it is to $1 million company. Okay. Well, I'm not the coach for you, because even though I work with people in different industries, retail, corporate, or what have you, my work is specifically geared towards a lot of inner work, a lot of mindset and strategizing to prioritize, help organize, help you get to the next level with your mindset and things of that nature. So it really just think about your life and what the concerns and issues are with your life, and then try to seek out a coach that appears to be able to tackle those concerns.
Okay. All right. So I didn't want to get back to that because I didn't even know there were different. I thought coaches were like all life coaches help you with life, but I guess
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they do, but okay, I'm just gonna be real. If you got a life coach that said they can do everything, that ain't that that's a red flag, okay? So
Yeah.
yes, life coaches, which is important. That's why it's important for life coaches to specify their area of expertise. Like I know specifically that my area of expertise is help using a Christ-centered approach to help busy professional women in the areas of balance, clarity, and purpose. So anybody that is having anything that might be related to those concerns, then they might be drawn to me.
Okay. Living Out Loud, the podcast said, how would you advise me on getting out of my own way? Where would I begin? Good question.
Get out your own way. Okay. So listen, part of it is like in our head, right? Like sometimes it's, think of it like a tape or a movie, or you watching something on Netflix. One of the things to remember is it's hard. You can't stop thoughts from coming in. You can't stop negative thoughts from coming in and keeping you from, moving forward or what have you. But what you do have the ability to do is press pause or stop. Now, it might be a lot of work in the beginning, like that button going, might need to, re-up on the batteries or something, plug it into the USB. But understanding that you have more power than you give yourself credit for.
Mhm.
We as individuals have more power. And I think we forget that. We give our problems more power. We give people more power. We give situations more power than we give ourselves. That's not to say that, we're all powerful and we can just do it all ourselves. But when it comes to getting out of our way and pushing the fear to the side and pushing the negativity to the side, when we start to see how much power we're giving, like you're just giving the key to your house to all of these strangers, all of these situations. And then it's like we're saying, well, I don't know why I can't. No, stop giving out your key. Okay, so now everybody got a key,
Love it.
right? Everybody got a key. Can't get your key back from everybody, but you could change the locks. You can change the code on the alarm system. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's about little steps. And once we can acknowledge some things and take some of those small steps, that's a step forward. Don't expect to be like, I'm gonna get out of my own self way. don't forget to get out of your, don't expect to, go from A to Z and everything's gonna be perfect. It's a process. And don't beat yourself up if you find yourself getting back into old patterns. You have to learn how to develop new patterns with your mindset and your behavior. So just be patient with yourself. And if you can't get your key back, start changing them locks. Stop allowing every situation access.
I promise I'm loving this conversation. I love how you are like, change some locks, okay? You're not going to get that key back, but.
They're going to come to the door. They be like, what's
okay? They ain't going to bring no problems in here. Trista Natural says, Monifa, your specialty is work-life balance.
Yes, that falls under some of the things that I do. Yes, I mean, I have clients now. I mean, between working a corporate job, being a caretaker for a parent, trying to find time for themselves, like really helping. Part of what I do is really help individuals in that who are dealing with work-life balance understand that they're just as important and just as valuable as any other person that they're connected to. So when you don't treat yourself as valuable, and that doesn't mean that you have to cut people off, push them all to the side. It just means that you need to, once again, prioritize, identify. Like, I am no good to you if I'm sick and laid out on the bed and you need a ride to wherever, right? But if I can get some rest mentally, emotionally, physically, then I can even show up. Even if it's just for the 5 minutes that you need me, I'm showing up. Like, when somebody's in your space and they not really with you.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Even if you're on the phone, you don't even have to physically be with somebody in the same room. If you're on the phone with somebody, you can tell when their mind is distracted, you may not know what they're doing. They may be watching TV, they may be falling asleep, they may be thinking, looking at the ceiling, counting sheep. You don't know what they're doing, but you can feel that they're not connected to you at the moment. So to me, part of work-life balance is part of what I deal with in helping individuals realize, like, look, how do we, if the 10-day Mediterranean cruise can't happen right now, what can we do until we get to the 10-day Mediterranean cruise, kind of thing. So I hope that answers her question.
Awesome. Yes. Let me see. Everybody's still speaking and saying hi. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. The everyday life of an OCD chick. When is it okay to walk away from a relationship?
Now, you can't ask that question. I don't have no details, right? That sounds like a free consultation question, but no. That's a loaded one. In all seriousness, that the answer to that is so layered. It's so layered, right? I'll put it in very foundational, very simple terms, right? As a friend, or even as a therapist or a coach, right? At the very basic, yes, a loaded potato. At the very basic, right? I never told anyone to leave their relationship. I never said, girl, you need to leave, directly like that, unless there was obvious abuse.
Right.
If there's a situation where there's obvious abuse, then I would either strongly hint, leaving may need to be on the list of considerations. Now, beyond obvious abuse, it is so layered. It is so layered, right? And so I'm not even going to try to answer that. I'm just going to be real. Like, you need to book a consultation with me. Who was that? Loaded potato. Other than obvious abuse, we're going to leave it there. That's layered. There's too much to that to actually give an answer, to be honest, to be transparent.
Yeah, that is a lot. Let me see. This is a great way to start the Monday, I might say. And Passionately Intrigued R said, how do you say no without guilt? That's me right there. I feel so bad when I say no to someone. So my energy just tends to go, okay, yes, I'll try to help you. I'll give you a ride. I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll babysit the kids or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then like little old me, my little time is like to myself. So thank you, Pashley. I do have that as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. So here's what I say. Don't think that the guilt that you have in saying no is going to go away right away when you start to practice this, right? What's going to happen is it's kind of like doing a dance. If you and this other person know the moves, y'all been on the dance floor doing the cha-cha-cha, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden you change. I got you passionately. Okay, let me hurry up and finish my answer so you can get yours in, Miss T.
Okay, you know me so well. I promise.
So it's kind of like doing a dance, right? You two have been doing a dance, and now you're trying to change the dance. You've been used to doing the Cabbage Patch. I'm taking it way back. I know. Now you're trying to do the Dougie, right? No, I know we still not up to date. I know. I'm just throwing some stuff out there. Keep you laughing. Keep you laughing. So, all of a sudden, not only does the other person have to kind of get used to this new dance, but you have to get used to the new interaction as well because it's different. You just sprung it on them. Even if you tried to let them know, look, I'm gonna start doing things differently, it's different. Right. So one, how do you say no? How do you remove the guilt from saying when you say no? Let's talk about mindset and expectations first, right?
Mhm.
Let's kind of integrate the expectation that the guilt is not going to go away right away. It's going to take practice, right? And it's going to feel awkward and painful sometimes to start with. So let's just start there. And then eventually, like anything, even if the emotion doesn't go completely away, it gets easier and easier and easier. All right, you on, Miss T, your answer.
Oh, girl, I don't have it. I'm still there. I'm trying to finish. I'm trying to change that access code. I do that so much. I think that's like when somebody told me before, like, Miss T, you have so much more potential, but like I'm carrying on so many other people's, problems and trying to help everybody else. Like I this much time to my actual self. So that's something that I am working on. I will admit that.
You got to make look. You can't be responsible. This is for anybody. We can't be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying we shouldn't be compassionate. I'm not saying we shouldn't be considerate. I'm not saying we shouldn't be concerned. But we can't be responsible for everybody else's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you continue to feel like you're responsible or act in a way where you're taking on the responsibility of everyone's thoughts, actions, emotions, there's no other choice but to be weighed down. So, okay, I used to know this girl, right? When I was living in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I used to know this girl. She was a firefighter. Petite. I was like, girl, how are you carrying 250-pound men out of burning buildings? Like,
Okay.
I just need to know. And she said, she laughed at me. She's like, she gets that question all the time. And she said, as a firefighter, one of the things they learn is it's not just about the weight that you have to carry, it's how you carry the weight.
Mm.
So someone may be 250 pounds, but because they've learned how to carry the weight, they may feel like 225, 220.
Okay.
This is part of what I teach my clients. Like, how are you carrying the weight? Are you carrying the weight of other people's responsibility? Are you trying to do it all on your own? Like, how this is where part of the balance comes in,
Mm-hmm.
getting clarity so you can operate more fully in your purpose. How are you carrying the weight? We all know life be life in, right? So when life is life in, it's a lot. It's a lot. Sometimes even when it's not life in, which don't always seem like that happens too often. But even when it's not life in, it's like you trying to breathe, but you in your mind waiting for the next thing to happen.
Okay.
How are we carrying the weight? It's going to be heavy. And we can't carry it all alone, which is also where the Christ-centered approach comes in as well. So yeah.
That's amazing because, like, I am the oldest sister. So, like, the oldest always has to take care of everybody. I'm the oldest cousin. So, I'm like, okay, I got y'all. I got y'all. Now
Mhm.
I'm at a point where I'm in my 40s. I'm like, you know what? I'm grown. Y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm greatly enjoying this. Thank you, everybody, for the questions. We also got in here RLM Herbal Ideals. Welcome in. Welcome in. Uh, Anyone I missed? Good morning. Let me see. Are there any other questions anybody would like to ask? We still got plenty of time and we almost have 40 people in here. Amazing. Amazing. Uh, Let me see. So back to the saying no question while we're waiting on some more questions to come in. Why
Mhm.
what would you suggest would be a good start to, for someone who just never said no, who always taking in everybody else's burdens and whatnot?
Mhm. So, what would be a good start? Okay, so one of the things, and this could be work that they do ahead of time, right? Begin to think about some of the some of the ways that you want to see your life lived out in terms of what does peace look like? What does happiness look like? Sometimes when I work with my clients, one of the things that I do is I give them homework. Like, I'm famous for homework. You work with me, you're gonna get homework. That's just come through. That might be part of, like, I don't know. I'm gonna blame that on my dad. Okay, so quick story. So whenever we would be riding in the car,
Mhm.
if we didn't know what a word meant, my dad would be like, look under the seat and grab the dictionary and look it up.
Oh,
I'd be like, but you sitting right here. Like, he would legit make us look up words in the dictionary. So, and then he would want us to do book reports during the summer. Now that one I ain't never did, but but he was really into education. But think about, like, your why. Like, how, with some of the homework assignments that I do, when you envision your life and you say, I just want my life to be peaceful.
mhm.
I don't want to just hear that, right? I want you to explain what a peaceful life looks like, smells like, feels like, so that if I were to close my eyes, I'm there.
Right.
Right? Begin to visualize what you want your life to look like. So, for example, if you feel like you're pulled in too many directions, okay, and you want to start learning how to say no, but you're feeling guilty because you've been picking Johnny up from school for the last 10 years every day for your friend, um it might be subtle changes that you begin to make. It might be like, I have some, things that I need to take care of, which you do yourself. So on, every third Tuesday, I won't be able to pick up Johnny. Just want to give you a heads up.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be like we go all in and just start cutting everybody off at the knees,
Right.
right? You still want to maintain and keep relationships, excuse me, but find certain small ways to really, really kind of get back to yourself, you
Mm,
know?
awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
Wanda said, can't expect what you can't imagine. Fact.
Yes. Yes. And that, on that point, a lot of times I tell my clients, whether it's with a significant other or whether it's with just other people in their lives, a business partner, an employee, or what have you, oftentimes we want the other person to change,
Mm,
right? Let's just take a couple, right? We want the other person, the wife, I just want him to do, help me around the house more. Now, let's just say he ain't never washed a dish in the 10 years you've been married, right? I'm just saying, I just want him to help me around the house more. Okay, he hears you. And one day he washes the dishes and then he don't wash the dishes no more for another 3 months. Well, he's not help. Okay, but you weren't specifics. The man went from not doing anything for 10 years to doing something. In his mind, he has done it, like he is the bomb, like he checking off boxes, you know, but you weren't clear and now he's confused because you said you wanted me to help. I helped. Now what's the problem? So clarity is oftentimes what gets us hemmed up, you
Okay.
know?
Is it Shawnee's birthday today? Let me see. Living Out Loud, the podcast says, "Oh my, you are so good. Do you have a YouTube channel?"
Uh, no. I mean, I have a channel, but I'm not doing
Active.
anything live on it. Gotta catch me back on Miss T again.
Oh, yeah, we definitely need to do this again. This was awesome.
But thank you, Living Out Loud. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm. So if you are wanting to get a hold of Miss Monifa Robinson, like I said, there is her email. She has a free consultation if you're interested in speaking with her, absolutely free. Thank you, Anne Marie, for dropping the link. Let me see. Yeah, this is great. This has been amazing, amazing.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm enjoying this.
Oh, do you have any intention on reactivating your YouTube?
Okay, how can I say this without feeling guilt? At the moment, that is not on the agenda at the moment, but knowing that it's an interest, I will definitely keep it in mind so that as I and my assistant continue to plan and move forward, we'll continue to see how we can begin to navigate some of those things and place it in the system.
Okay, okay. Let me see. Are there any other questions? We still got about 30 more minutes. Give it a minute or so. Was there anything else that you would like to say to the people while we wait for some more questions to roll in? And welcome in Hands in the Dirt. Let me see. Becoming overwhelmed to the point of being completely non-productive. That's me. I take on a lot, and then like by the end of the day, I'll just do whatever I need to do myself that I had planned. I'll put that till tomorrow, and then you know.
Look, been there, done that, got a few t-shirts. Sometimes I got to rein myself back in if we want to be transparent, right?
Mhm.
Um it's easy to become overwhelmed, right? So I think it's important for each individual to really begin to assess, like really start doing a deep dive into what's happening, not only in terms of the things that are on your plate that are overwhelming you, but the things that happen to you mentally, physically, emotionally, as you lead up to becoming overwhelmed. So, for example, do you start like blanking out in conversations? Do you feel like your heart's starting to race? Do you feel get antsy? You're getting antsy, your legs shake. Like, what start to really think about what's happening to your body emotionally, mentally, physically, as you're leading up to being overwhelmed and when you're actually overwhelmed. The reason why I say that is because the more you can identify what's happening to you as you're getting to a point that you don't want to get to, the better you'll become at strategizing and implementing certain things to help derail or minimize certain things, effects from happening. So it's really about, part of it, I'll say, is about really becoming insightful and beginning to know yourself a little bit more.
Okay, all right. This is a good one. RLM Herbal Ideals says, "How do you assist clients with developing their own accountability?" Ooh, take accountability.
Yeah, because I'm a good accountability partner, but I think that it's important. Okay, hope nobody is in the pharmaceutical industry, but take the pharmaceutical industry, for example, right? You have a doctor gives you one pill, but then they end up having to give you another pill because of the side effects of that pill. Then because of the side effects of that pill, next thing you know, you're on 10 different pills
Mhm.
and you never get off of anything, right? I can't speak for all coaches, but for myself, I think it's very important to help clients develop the tools that they need so that they can be self sufficient in a way.
Listen to that man right there.
So that they can be self-sufficient. Now that doesn't mean that we don't need each other, and that doesn't mean that you may not come back for, a tune-up, so to speak. I don't care how beautiful your car is, you need to see the mechanic for your oil change, for your tune-up, stuff goes wrong, that kind of thing, for maintenance, right? But I think it's wrong if I or any other coach um, leads a client in a way that doesn't allow them to begin to develop habits that where they can be successful and continue until the next time they may need some assistance. Right. So I think it's very important for that to happen. Now, even with that, no matter how much a coach does, right? I will tell you, I'm only a coach. You are the player. I cannot get on the field and play the game for you.
Mm-hmm.
But with the education that I have, with the experience that I have, I can get on the sidelines and in between plays, I can tell you, like, look, this is where we need to adjust. This is what you need to do next. This is what you need to watch out for, right? But you have to do the work. So when we talk about accountability, I can give you tools, but the question really is, are you ready to implement those tools on a consistent long-term basis, understanding this is not a quick fix, and do the work?
All right. I love it. I love it. We are the players. And Bill said, are your services covered by any insurance?
Unfortunately, no, but they're very affordable. So just book a free consultation with me and we can chat. But unfortunately, no.
Mm. Well, let me see. Any more questions? We still got about 20 something minutes. I love how they're trickling in. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see here. Is there anything else that you would like to add again while we
While
wait
we
for?
wait, it kind of goes along the lines of the coach thing, and just even as I think about running my own race, right? It's not always easy. Um, but when I think about running my own race, I've often had to tell people, you know, I am when I'm out there running, it doesn't matter how many people are on the sidelines cheering me on, right? I actually have to run the race. I have to put on the shoes, lace up, and get out there, whether I walk, jog, run, intermittently, whatever. I have to do it. They may be cheering me on, they may be handing me water, they might be like, you got this, but I have to actually do it, which means I have to train. And oftentimes, we don't want to train. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I laid in the bed this morning and I was like, well, if I don't work out this morning, I can get it in tomorrow. But I was like, you know what? Let me just get out the bed. 30 minutes of strength. And I was like, okay, it's over. It was 30 minutes. It was a hard 30 minutes because, I had to get my mind right. But, 30 minutes and we made it happen, So you got to do the work.
Yeah, that's a lot. A lot of people don't want to do the work; they just want the instant success.
Mm-hmm.
RLM said, "Yeah, that's where my main struggle is. Lead a horse to water, but hard to coax them into drinking."
Yeah, that's why I tell people, it doesn't. If you're not ready to do the work, you just you I hate to say it, but you're really wasting your time. You're wasting your time and wasting your coach's time and you're wasting your money. You have to be ready. It's like going to the doctor. You keep going to the doctor after the first time, but you don't want to do nothing the doctor said. Even if you don't want to take the medicine, you don't want to eat better.
Mm,
I ain't saying you got to take the medicine, but you don't want to try to eat. You still want to have that ice cream when you
wow.
could have just had, the orange or the apple. Like you don't want to do you want to do everything the way. Stop going to the doctor. I mean, the doctor may not be happy because he's not gonna get paid, but stop wasting. That's somebody else's slot that you're taking up.
Right. I understand that completely because the doctor is always telling me, eat better, eat better. I'm like, yeah, okay. Sometimes I'm like, you are just definitely speaking my language.
Girl, we've all been there. We've all been
I
there.
promise they know me so well. I call it out Miss T with the T. That's why I was just like, oh my goodness.
She is sunshine. She is funny.
I am wasting the doctor's time. Oh my. Oh man, this has been a great live stream. I
Oh,
really
good.
enjoy it.
Oh my goodness, this is funny. Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, so thank everybody for coming in. Wow, I just keep looking like what I thought we would have a little bit more questions.
No
How
more.
long is the consultation service? Is it like an hour or
Oh, the consultation service is 30 minutes.
okay?
Yeah, so it's 30 minutes. And if after someone decides they actually want to move forward with the program, normally what I do is send them a flurry of emails. Not too many, but one of the emails includes a 25-point questionnaire, right? And it actually has you as the client dig even deeper into some of the things we talked about in our consultation in terms of what you want to work on. And then during our first session, one of the things we do is we go over that questionnaire and then we come to an agreement on what we're actually going to work on, because some clients, they may want to work on something that is going to take more than three months. Like, okay, yeah, that's a wonderful goal, but but that's not going to happen in the next 3 weeks. So so we come to an agreement on what we're going to work on, and then continue to move forward from there. And like I said, we have those materials that we use. And even though there's a foundation and those materials that we use, I integrate, what makes part of it unique is I integrate your stuff, like what's happening in your life, to the foundation so that we can build upon it that way.
Jigs. That side note, I can make a horse drink water.
Oh Lord, I'm scared. Wait.
The Sunshine said she didn't hear the part you said if it's your services are covered out of pocket.
Yes. Oh, so unfortunately, my services are not covered by insurance. All my clients do pay out of pocket. But I'd like to think my rates are fairly reasonable. So just check me out and we can have a chat.
Okay. And like she said, she does have a free consultation on her website, 30 minutes. Get to speak with her if I guess the interview process.
That's what I'm saying. Interview me too. Like, I mean, you're getting a little snapshot of who I am, how I operate. I try to incorporate laughter in the process too, because sometimes while a lot of clients say, things are heavy on them, right? It may seem like, oh, all you gotta do is organize and this, that, but a lot of this is heavy stuff for people. And a lot of times we minimize stuff, but I try to kind of help clients really just incorporate laughter. Like, we can do this, we're gonna do this, and we don't have to do it all with tears coming down our face. Like we can be laughing and crying at the same time.
That's funny. Oh. It's like the questions come in, then they kind of like stop, and they kind of
Oh
trickle.
yeah, you good.
Let me see. So once again, are there any other questions? We got about 20 more minutes. And while we're waiting on some more questions, I do want to say thank you so much. We connected through LinkedIn, and I kind of like went away from LinkedIn. I just popped back in when we connected, and I was just like, wow. And I'm so glad again that we did find each other, and I will definitely be keeping in touch.
Same here. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see. Well, okay. Well, if there's no other questions.
Um, Nobody has anything else? No other. Get your free coaching, except loaded potato. She had a loaded one. That what was she had that wasn't her name. She put loaded potato.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I do want to. Okay, welcome in, Edna. How you doing? How you doing? If we don't have any other questions within the next couple of minutes, I guess we'll just go ahead and wrap it up. I do want to thank you for your time.
thank you. No, I appreciate it, and I enjoyed being here with you and all of your guests. And I really, just hope that even if it was one thing that everyone got something out of it.
Yeah, everything is a mindset. If you can change your mind, you can change your life.
Agreed. Agreed. And it sounds so cliche-ish, but I promise you, it's real. It's real.
Yeah. Thank you for all this information and welcome in, Edna. Well, yes, I would like to thank everybody for coming in. Oh, Driver Sensei, this guy's a handful right there. Thank you guys so much for coming in. If you are wanting to reach and get in contact with Miss Monifa Robinson, her email is right there at the bottom, www.withinyourreach.life. It is okay. It is okay. Feel free to rewatch if you like. We had a wonderful conversation this morning. Thank everybody for your questions. And then again, before we head out, did you want to add anything else before?
I mean, like, in all seriousness, live life. Don't allow fear to keep you stuck. Don't allow fear to keep you stagnant. When you operate inside your comfort zone, um, and you don't step outside of that, you don't operate at your full potential. And when you don't operate at your full potential and in the fullness of your calling, your gifts, your talents, it's not just you that's impacted. It's you and everyone that's attached to you. When you don't operate fully in your gifts, the people attached to you can't operate the way they're supposed to. And I think oftentimes we're like, we look back, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with her? Why are they not doing this? But sometimes, not all the time, sometimes it's because we're not doing what we're supposed to do. If everyone just moves beyond that fear and just does their thing, it'll be all right.
All right, awesome. Welcome in, Sandra, living a full life. Greetings, everyone. Late coming in. Does your guest help a person become a coach? Do you offer those services?
I don't have any type of certification program. In terms of helping to become a coach, a lot of what I might do is really just kind of help you define, maybe give some resources, things of that nature. And this also may not be a popular opinion. I'm good for unpopular opinions, Miss T. So, but the truth of the matter is, you don't need a certification. And I'm not sure if that's what she wanted, but you don't need a certification to become a life coach. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have. I'm just saying it's not required. So because the states and the government um, don't require, um, I'm sorry, I got
Well,
distracted.
I warned you.
Because it's not, certification is not regulated by the government, technically anyone can become a life coach, which is also why I say it's really important to really connect and interview the person that you think you want to be your coach as well. See what their experiences are, see what qualifies them to help you do what you do or what you want to do. Now, I forgot her name, the one that asked about the coaching. What she can do is she can grab a spot on my calendar, because I would want to actually hear more specifically about some of the questions that you have, to, even if I can't help you, just to maybe give you some insight on what steps to take. So if you want to do that, Sandra, I'd be more than willing to talk to you during our free consultation.
Absolutely. And Sandra and everybody else in here, if you're wanting to get a hold of Miss Monifa, again, her website is www.withinyourreach.life. Everybody's saying great information. Let's see.
Thank you.
On that note, we definitely need to do this again. Maybe we'll like talk again about like next month or something like that.
Hey, I'm here. We'll chat. We talk. Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Spreading the word, I love this. I love this. I greatly appreciate all the, how you are comparing it to everything, the house, the locks. So relatable. So relatable. Let me see. What did this guy say? Oh, okay. Let me see. Whoa. We can get on her calendar, jump on her calendar. I'm still using.
Oh, see now. Don't look, as much as I love my mother, don't be like my mama. She's still using a flip phone and don't even turn that on half the time. I'm like, Mom.
Oh my goodness. Do I need to call my father out for like the iPhone 4 or whatever he has?
Look, my mother is still writing checks and will call the bank every month to see if her checks have cleared. I was like, by the time you do that, Mom, somebody be done stole all your money out the bank.
That is my father. Whatever works for you, sir. Whatever works for you. And thank you so much, Anne-Marie. She gifted somebody a membership to the channel, so that is amazing. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie, for everything that you do. Happy Life was back there in the bushes, and they said, great live. Thank you so much. Let me see. I must have missed some. Congratulations to Wellness. I'm not sure what we congratulating her for. If somebody wants to let me know. Okay, so a real question. How do you find ways to shake up people when they are defeated? Ooh. And welcome, Riaz.
Okay, so, usually when someone feels defeated, right, they it may not necessarily be this, but you're starting to connect some dots with sadness, depression, feeling like they can't get past or what have you. And also the other thing is, feeling defeated is not oftentimes a thing that happens from one event. Like, usually when someone really feels defeated, it's been a series of things happening in their life that makes them feel like nothing's going to get better. Nothing is going to progress to the next level. He just asked a serious question, right?
Right. Never know that guy.
But so that's one thing that you have to keep in mind, right, when you're trying to help somebody that's been defeated. The second thing is, you kind of have to meet them where they are, right? So trying to get somebody who truly feels defeated to go from feeling defeated, like life is not worth whatever, to yes, I can make it, or I can handle this, or the business is going to thrive, or whatever. It's almost like taking baby steps. Like you have to find out where the person is, find out, help them identify small things that can give them small but significant wins so that they can begin to build up. Constant support, constant allowing people to feel like they can talk to you, without feeling judged, without feeling like you always going to go hard on them, kind of thing. Those are a couple of things that you can start to, but most of it really is about you understanding that they're not going to change overnight, helping them to being there for them and helping them to identify small steps to help them begin to move on or move away from that emotion. And actually, a small plug, my Matters of the Heart devotional does actually speak to some of these emotions. And like I said, they give practical, but of course, it's a devotional, so biblically based solutions on really how to begin to deal with some of these heavy emotions.
Okay. Let's see here. Ria says sometimes I have a heavy guilty conscience.
Yeah. So, I think guilt, and this happens for all of us at some point or another in some situation or another. I think guilt, um, it keeps us from it keeps us in a state of not being able to obviously move forward. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you in the past. It just never allows you to really move forward. And I really think, not to get too spiritual, but I really think that's also one of the tricks of the enemy, right? Anything that's not positive, anything that's not pure, anything that keeps your mindset held back, you know, is I think one of the things that he'll use to keep you from moving forward, operating in your purpose and in your call at your fullest potential.
Okay. He did want to apologize in advance, driver, since that he's only allowed to be serious once every 94 seconds. There are so many YouTubers here. How do you get beyond a dead zone when your content doesn't yield the expectations? Like, I guess just keep. I don't know. I'll let you answer it.
No, no, I think first of all, okay, I'll start with expectations, right? So expectations, that's great. Expectations, I think, are extremely important. One, I think constantly review and manage your expectations and see if they're realistic. And even with being realistic, I don't see anything wrong with trying to push beyond some limits. You always want to grow, but seeing if they're realistic even with that. And consistently, and sometimes, to be honest with you, that's where that purpose comes in. Like, are you doing what you do because that's what the most famous YouTube content creator says you should do? Listen, I have been in business on some level since 2005, right? But I've been full time in business over the last couple of years. Okay. From 2005 to the last couple of years, I can't tell you how many transitions and changes and just so many things that have occurred, how many pauses, how many stops, how many goes, have occurred between then and now. But one thing that never died. One was my purpose, like my drive for my purpose. So while I had to change things, while I had to readjust expectations, and every major company, every major corporation has done it. We're just not in the boardrooms to hear it and see it. But while I've had to transition and pivot so many times, my purpose fueled my drive and my desire, and that never changed. And I feel like in the right timing, everything blossomed. And for me, it's like, I mean, I'm looking forward to even more great things, but I wouldn't have even imagined, as much as I wanted to be at a certain place by now, I wouldn't have even imagined that I'm here. Like, and then it happened so quickly after so many years of transition and navigating. So just keep at it and manage your expectations.
Great answer. Great answer. And we thank Jarvis Sensei for the $5 super chat. How do you not get upset when people who come to you for coaching yet fall off the wagon and revert back to their previous laziness?
um Sometimes that's challenging because you work with people for a period of time and you really develop a heart for them. And like for me, I really want to see my clients succeed. Like I really do. Like my thing is, if I can get you to think about the possibility of thinking differently, then I've done my job. So sometimes it can become frustrating, it can become upsetting, but not because, well, sometimes I might be mad at the client, but it's not that I'm like really really mad at the client. It's that I really want them to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need you to get it, but I also understand from experience that sometimes you fall, sometimes you revert back to laziness, and you just never know when that one time will be, when somebody says this is it, when it's it for them, and like I said, I know that from experience as well.
Okay. All right.
So that the experience piece also helps me to be more patient. When you really get it, you see it from a different lens.
Okay. Let's see. Shia Sunshine says, better question is, how do you deal with a world of vampires when you are a natural giver, or better yet, avoid them?
See, vampires are a different beast because they have their own mind. They're going to do what they do. So I would say not give too much credence or put too much time and energy in trying to avoid. I think that's a waste more so of time of just trying to avoid. I would say focus a lot more on being aware of setting and keeping healthy boundaries for yourself, and becoming, as you continue to deal with vampires, becoming more strategic in your approach on how to deal with each vampire as they come along.
Great information. Great, great, great. Questions are flowing back in now.
Right. Time to go. Now they're coming in,
We
right?
don't know where after all those. Ashley Intrigued Art Sis says, how do you handle someone who never acknowledges their wrongdoings? They're always right. Those type of people.
Child, it depends on who it is. um, oh gosh, how do you handle people that are always right? Honestly, part of it does depend on who it is. I mean, sometimes you have to resolve yourself to determining which battles you will fight and how you're fighting them, right? Like, what are your expectations during these conversations? These moments where you're engaged with this type of person. Oftentimes, when I tell my clients, when they're having difficult conversations, if they have the opportunity ahead of time, try to determine what they really want to get out of the conversation. Understand who you're dealing with, right? And just really, you have to know what you're dealing with, and just understand that You don't have to, this is hard for some people. You don't always have to have the last word. You don't always have to be right. Let me tell you, I've won some of my toughest battles with silence. I've won some of my toughest battles with, or very few words. Okay. So sometimes knowing when to say something, when not to say something, when to go all in, when to hold back. Strategy, is really important. Here's the other thing when we talk about giving people control and power, right? And I'm not calling these people who are never, who can never admit they're wrong evil or the enemy. I'm just saying in general, behind the person, right? Oftentimes when we're dealing with these type of problems, we feel like the um the enemy, so to speak, has the upper hand, right? And so here's the thing: when you can really understand, when you start to understand and know the enemy's playbook, you don't realize how much more powerful you become. Now, granted, you may not know every detail or exactly when the enemy is going to strike this, that, but for the most part, you got an idea that when this person comes in the picture, it's all about foolishness, right? So when you know the enemy's playbook,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes we feel like, oh, we're so defeated and depressed and don't have any power. But listen, you know how to operate. So because you know how they're going to come at you, you have an opportunity to set your mindset a certain way. You have an opportunity to rein in your emotions. And that's not to say you're not going to feel or think a certain way, right? But you have an opportunity not to allow that person to be the puppet master over your emotions. There's a difference. They do not have to be the puppet master. When you continue to engage on a certain level, you're giving them more power than they need to have. So just understand what you're dealing with. Understand you have more power than you probably give yourself credit for. Remember, you don't always have to have the last thing. You don't always have to say anything. And that'll probably make them more mad, but that's all right.
Right, right. Yeah. Those people tend to be like the ones who are just never happy, just never,
Right.
oh, just Debbie Downer. I think that's what they used to call
Yes.
it. Defeat them with kindness.
Mm.
Yeah, I tend to do that. Like someone
Yes,
who's
that's a
always
good one.
bringing negativity, like, well,
Yes, that's a good one.
oh man. Well, I do want to thank you for your time. We are like almost there at 11 o'clock. Does anybody else have any other questions? We still got about 5 more minutes. And let me see. We don't use duct tape nowadays. It retains oil. Wow. Oh man. Before we do end out, I do want to just like let the 33 people who are still here, if you're interested in a free consultation service with Miss Monifa, her website is www.withinyourreach.life. This has been an amazing live stream.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, what's your question, sir? What is your question? Is it me? I have one more question. My mother said the word annoying doesn't exist. It's all in your head. Okay. I'm trying to wait to see if this is a real question or not.
We had a couple of real questions earlier.
Yeah, it's like 50-50.
Oh no, his 94 seconds might be up, so I don't know.
Okay, so if you don't have any questions, we're gonna bid everybody adieu. I will reach out to you to see about like possibly doing this like a monthly, every other month.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay, he said, never mind, it was something bad. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for your time this early in the morning.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. If nobody else has any other questions, if I braid my what? Okay, anywho. Uh, okay, let it happen. Look. Okay. Well, thank you again for your time. I'll be emailing you. And yeah, did you have look, we're gonna try this again. Did you have any other words for the people?
I'm good. This was great. I enjoyed all your guests. I enjoyed you, and I really do appreciate you for having me on. I do.
Well, thank you again. And without any other words, I guess we're finally finished. I know I said that about 3 times, but like this time I'm for real. Thank everybody for coming in. Hope everyone have a wonderful day, and I will speak to everybody tomorrow.